We had 45 adoptions or transfers last month, the month of March. How awesome is that?
And then all these donkeys were adopted in the same week. This dog was transferred to another rescue and then from there transferred to a rescue in Arizona. So she's living her best warm life in Arizona. Coco went home with Dawn. These puppies were transferred. And these are the animals that were adopted or placed during our adoption event. And then Hopi was adopted. She's been here for quite a while. And it is a big month for small animals, especially transferring out. So we're super happy for that.
Well, we got the dog kennels, or the kennels for the small animal room. I shouldn't say they're dog kennels. They could be for dogs, they could be for cats. Unpacking everything to find the instructions, the most important part of these things. I don't read them, I just look at pictures, but this is what it's supposed to look like when I'm done, you know? Okay. But right now it looks like that.
You know his serious when he has his glasses.
There you go, sir.
Cool.
Your small animal cages are ready.
Thanks. It's gonna be for any animals that we have to do intake on.
When you're getting dropped off, you come to a strange place and you need somewhere to relax. And this is where it's gonna be.
So far today is, I'm just getting Chatty's history typed up. He's not feeling well. He's been off his feed for 2 days now. He's been vomiting a little bit. And I really would like a CBC chemistry just to give me an idea of all of his signs are non-specific. So I kind of need a generalized direction of where to go from on that. Fastest turnaround time to get that would be to actually send him into one of the other local vet clinics, you know, because we can pull the blood here, send it off to IDEX, but it is my Chatty child. So we do want to find out what's going on with him, if it's something that we can easily get turned around on him. I'm just typing up his history, that way they have a better idea of what's going on with him. So again, it helps your vet out to give them a good history on the animal so they can make solid decisions while they're working on him, because I won't be going with him, so they'll have the history to give them, guide them on what I'm suspecting, and then again their input as well too of what else is going on. We are going to start the process of trying to remove the wart growths out of Glimmer's ears. They're caused by a virus that pretty much all horses have been exposed to in their lifetime. Majority of them are exposed young, they kick it. You may have heard them called baby warts, dew warts, things like that. Their body reacts to it, they clear it, there's no big deal. Some horses don't clear the virus. They think it's an immune deficiency, things of that nature, and they like to show up in the ears then. A lot of them are just little flat plaques. You may notice some little white colorations, and some of them grow out really long growths like Glimmers are. Problem with that is it makes their ears very sensitive and they get kind of bridle shy, head shy. So what we're doing today is we're going to start the process of removing those warts, stimulating his body to react to the wart virus, and hopefully we'll get those cleared up. Now, reading the research papers, it's not going to be an overnight process. It's going to take a couple of weeks, may take to a couple of months. So we're going to start with one ear today. And if we see progress with it, we are going to then start on the second ear. And with that research, even though this irritates the ear during the process, all the horses in the research study actually showed improvement around their ears, not being as shy about their ears after it was completed. So we'll expect them to look a little worse during the process, but in the end, he should come out better And those little wart-type growths, you can get bacterial infections in there, fungus, because it likes to trap everything. The black flies like to irritate them, so it's definitely worth the effort of trying to get those out of there to make them not only cosmetically better, but better quality of life on his ears.
When we rescued Glimmer, he had all this nasty gunk in his ears, and we talked with one veterinarian, and they said, well, we could probably put this on his ears and see if that works. There was never a definite, this is what he needs. But now that he's at our facility and Dr. Nancy is here full time, we're going to actually be able to do a long-term treatment plan to try to fix what's going on in his ears. This wouldn't really be possible without Dr. Nancy being here, because he's actually had to be put under sedation and anesthesia so he can get this treatment, and it's going to be an ongoing treatment, which just was never feasible before. But we have high hopes that this is going to really help him out and make him more comfortable, because it's not fun to have all the gunk in his ears.
So this first one will just make him sleepy. So he'll just get a little heavy-headed, and then we'll give him the ones to help him lay down. Yeah, we're fully laying him down just because where he's head shy, it just makes it easier, gives me more flexibility and time to work with him.
If you'd like to watch the entire surgery, head on over to our other channel, Horse Plus Vets. Check it out if you can handle blood at all, and see the entire process of helping Glimmer with this nasty stuff he's got going on. I really enjoy watching surgeries because it's helping horses get a new lease on life, and that's the whole purpose of it. So head on over to Horse Plus Vets when you're done watching this episode.
Unloading feed, and we had 4 bags of feed in the back seat, and I took 1 bag at a time, and young pup over there decided he's taking 2 at a time. He'll pay for it later like I am. Now I'm gonna take the Leaning Tower of Pisa and see if I can unload it. The pallet destroyed itself, and I mean, look at the pallet.
Yeah.
That was nice. You saw that? I almost got caught under it.
I know.
I was like,
Aww.
I knew I should have not tried to lower it. I should have just tried to go with it all the way high.
Yeah.
But the pallet
Might have made it.
It might have, but I mean the pallet shredded itself also.
Yeah.
I mean that pallet's not built very well.
I was gonna say, like,
Look at that. I mean there's a big knot. That's a weak spot.
you didn't even hold the top together.
No.
Wow.
I do it good.
Oh no.
Well, I guess now we gotta carry.
Now we have a few.
Give me the
open
camera. Oh no.
That's one way to do it.
Yeah. It might be a little quicker, but I doubt it. There's one more.
No celebration.
Well, everything went pretty good until we got to the Leaning Tower of Pisa, and then the pallet exploded as it fell over. So we ended up carrying everything tractor-wise and everything, but I had lots of help. So thank you all.
Media team also joined us.
Yes, media team joined in carrying a few bags herself and a bottle of water.
Oh, I'd say that's a jug.
Well, a jug, bottle.
Same difference, you know. I want to see you drink that.
Somebody's got a drinking problem because every week I got to go fill those things
I know.
up. You know?
At least it's water, you know.
At least it's water.
Hope got adopted last week during our adoption event. Her new owners are here to pick her up today. When we got Hopi, she was pretty much unhandled. I have done a lot of work with her. I got her to the point where I'm about ready. I got the hiccups, excuse me. When I got her to the point where she is about ready to start under saddle. And that's typically how it goes out here. Right when I get a horse ready to start under saddle, somebody comes and adopts it. But we're gonna load her up on the trailer. We're gonna load her up on the trailer and she's gonna go to her new home.
What are you doing, Corey?
This is how you teach a horse how to have a bit in its mouth. You just use a lead rope. You put the bit right there, or the lead rope. Still got the hiccups. So you put the lead rope in there until they kind of settle down and stop munching on it so much. And then just take it out. And you repeat that as many times as necessary. But it just gets them prepared to carry the bit in their mouth. Just like that. Yeah, she had that cut. She's perfectly fine on this eye.
Yeah,
but that's recent, so we had to treat that, and she didn't really appreciate it.
Didn't like that.
No. I'm gonna get her tied up to the trailer, go grab those shavings for you, get them in there, and then we'll load her up.
Okay.
All right.
Who's that?
That's my dog.
Pixie.
That's Pixie.
It's so small. So small. Look at that.
Well, alrighty, you guys. You bet.
So I had some exciting news. There was a lady that contacted us yesterday all the way from Australia, and she was super excited about adopting a cat. And she wanted to specifically adopt Chatty. And so we were looking into all the ways of how Chatty could travel. And then it turned out that she actually wanted to adopt Chatty for Dr. Nancy, pay his adoption fee for you.
Oh my goodness.
So she made a $25 cat adoption fee donation yesterday for Chatty, so he can be officially your cat, and his adoption fee has been paid for in Australia.
Well, thank you. That's quite a surprise. So
congratulations. See, I told you it wasn't gonna be bad.
that is a definite surprise.
What you doing, Don?
Working on the Full Circle of Life mentoring workshop we're having here May 2nd and 3rd. Just looking to get everybody's logos so I can make name badges with their logo on their name badges. Got one really cute one. Peaceful Pasture. I just love their little donkey.
No way.
I am making little name badges for the ones that are coming to the workshop in May.
That's awesome.
So they will know who we're talking to.
Today's volunteer day. We have some volunteers here and we're going to do some cleaning up. Let's start with a little tour. We'll walk around a little bit. It's our riding arena over here. Okay. Right now we have little Kissimmee who is pregnant and she is in there for right now. And then we have our minis over here. We'll get to groom those later. So this is our intake barn for our horses, but we also have dogs right now. So we have our doggies down here at the end. We're working on getting a cat and dog shelter built so that we can transfer them all over there. This is our training barn over here. Huh? Did you see us coming? And you're just like, hello. This is Cherish. This is Candy. She is pregnant. She is just getting milk. She should be foaling very soon.
Right in the middle of the storm?
Yeah, at the most inopportune moment. They think it could be like the changes in atmospheric pressure that bring on pregnant deliveries. This is Harvest. Okay, and then this is our vet barn over here. We have our cat room over here. It's in our shavings room. Hello, Chatty. Chatty was just adopted today by Dr. Nancy. We'll just give him a good scrub and then fill him up and put him back where we found him. You can turn this hose on. The scrub brushes are over here. I'll see if I can find a few more. But you just use Dawn Just Soap Liquid. Use the scrub brush, scrub it all out, rinse it out, and then you can put it upside down. That's how we know that it's been washed and scrubbed. And then once we rescue it, we can rescue them and set them up there so that we know that, okay, these have all been scrubbed, rinsed, and rescued. We have some more volunteers who were here last month, so we're gonna just go out and get busy. We are just finishing cleaning up around the facility with our volunteers. So Caitlin and Kimberly are out catching Cowboy, Haley, and Sammy so that we can groom them and let our volunteers have a little bit of horse experience.
This is Hallie. Hallie's just like this. She's actually really well behaved once you catch her. I mean, as far as a mini can be. She just is very hard to catch.
Who has more horse experience? You have more horse experience? Okay, and you guys have horses, so Hallie is a little more touchy, so I'll put the more experienced people over here. And then this is Sammy and Cowboy, and those with less will go over here on this side. A little more careful around Hallie because she is a little more scared. Cowboy, he's very easy and gentle. And then Caitlin will get you all started. You can ask Caitlin if you have any questions. Right now, I'm just brushing them out, and then we'll hose off their legs. And then we'll see how they do. If they need more of a bath, then we'll give them a good hose down. It is a nice day.
Here you go. Here's one for you.
Oh, thank you.
You guys want the carrots to feed them?
It helps get all of the dirtiest stuck mud out. Just get right there, we go. He has little curls. Those are called wind whips. Oh. So when the wind blows, it'll twist them up and then they get mad. Oh my, you've got a good one, bud. Thank you. So with horsehair, it's very thick. So you just kind of have to take it in little sections. And you don't have to worry about hurting them. So you can be a little bit rougher with them. It doesn't hurt them. Oh my goodness. I don't want to pull a whole chunk of your hair out, sweet thing. You all ready? Yeah. go. Look, it's not even the hose anymore. It's a human. Okay, y'all can do the soap. He's a really good pony. It's not even touching you. I'm getting a bath. And put a saddle on him, and then my daughter can ride him. But have to convince the family.
How's it going, Kayla?
It's going great. It went good. Everybody is bathed. It was an adventure for sure. Water is very scary sometimes, but they did good, and everybody smells nice now. It's wonderful.
Well, guys, it was so amazing having you all out here today, and we hope that you enjoy your volunteer day. And I will do my best to get the next volunteer day on the Facebook page, but it's the first Wednesday of next month at 9 a.m. to noon if you guys want to come again. So thank you guys. It looks amazing. You did a great job, and the horses enjoyed the grooming. Oh, Chatty. Chatty's like,
He's coming to supervise.
he's checking y'all out. Thanks again, you guys, for coming again. We haven't had very many people that continually come.
We'll be here next month.
All right.
Nice meeting you guys. Nice meeting you.
Horse down.
This morning at 7 o'clock, one of them, her sister Misty, and her and little Banjo were in the field together. One of them was outside, one of them was in the barn. So done my usual check on them yesterday afternoon when I was up there. They both were in the barn with the hay, but unfortunately Nevaeh was the same way when it happened with her. So again, we always have to be worried about refeeding syndrome. It just, overwhelming their bodies. Underlying something else going on, because I noticed on her manure there, it's got a little bit of mucus on it. It tells me she was a little bit of slower passage through her gut that way. So we may have another colic underlying yet that we will get to if we figure out, what else. So right now I'm just looking to stabilize her, let her rest, let her chill. We moved her in here, and gave her some antibiotics as a preventative where she's stressed, low immune system. I'm going to give her some fluids, and again, just recheck everything. I gave her just a handful of grain. She may have got a little choked on it, so I will check that out as we let. Again, main thing is going slow with her, letting her settle, because when we handled her last week, you literally had to put her in a squeeze chute to handle her. She was untouched. So again, her letting people close to her is a little nerve-wracking for her, even though she seems calm right now. So that's why we're just going to go nice and slow with her. Again, horses can't lay for long periods of time. The good thing for her is she's small. We can kind of manhandle her compared to a bigger one. So we'll keep working with her today, see if what else shows up during my physical exams with her. Right now her heart rate's really elevated, which is a bad thing. A little bit increased respiration, that doesn't worry me as much as the increased heart rate, that there's something else going on that we've not found yet. So again, I'm not trying not to stress her anymore while we kind of let her tell us what's going on and just see what we can do with her. She went up to the feed bucket and the mud just sucked her in. And when they're weak like that, the mud will wear them out in a heartbeat. I am heating up fluids for her to get close to body temperature. You don't want to heat them in the microwave because when you do that, it actually creates hot pockets of fluid within the bag itself, which can be too hot for her. So the fastest way is just good old warm water then without using the microwave to get them closer to body temperature is what I'm after. So. And I'm not going to put in a catheter right now to what we call indwelling. I'm just going to do a quick off the needle if she wants to hold still for us, which she's been doing really good about. So if we see the need for a long-term catheter, I'll put that in at that point. That's why I went ahead and shaved down and everything. So just prepping us for if we need it long-term. Again, depends on how she does, how we manage her down the road. I find a colic going on that's not fixable, then that will completely change our game plan. So. See what you're doing, you let go of her head. If you can stand up and hold that pressure like I have it in the bag there as high up as you can get it, just so it's got more gravity pushing it down that way with the pressure of twisting it. What are you doing? What are you doing, darling? Is anywhere from a minor bellyache to life-threatening twisted gut like a blood flow to the gut. So colic has a whole range, and that's why people panic when you mention the word colic because a lot of them are minor.
I see.
Some of them are more serious, and unfortunately with her, listening to her lungs there again as I was listening to her heart, she may have actually tried to set up a pneumonia. Even though she's been bright and alert, that didn't show us any signs of it. This may be our first indication because her lung sounds are a lot harsher than they should be. So I did already give her antibiotics. So that way we'll kind of monitor that. Yeah, so she's still dropping a little bit out. So I was going to say we'll still keep looking at that because it still got me a little worried. So, and we got half a bag of fluids in her, and then she laid over. So that's when I stopped her. Like, okay, what are you doing, sweetheart?
Yeah.
But I think she just got so relaxed down, but she scared me. The plan is to let her settle about an hour. I'm going to come back and check vitals that way, because if it is the pneumonia that I suspect it is, I've already got her antibiotics on board. But my biggest thing is where her heart rate was so elevated, it is dropping down now, which is a good thing. Gut sounds are increased, so we just want to make certain that we don't have that on top of a pneumonia. So we're looking at multiple things right now, so we'll just, again, just a good visual eye on her, vital signs, and again, I'm just giving her like a little handful at a time, just again, check her appetite, because again, if she's bright and alert and wanting to eat, that's a good sign. So that helps me like, okay, are we pushing it where she doesn't really want to try, or is she wanting to eat? And we can always do more fluids. We've got plenty of fluids here if we need to hook her up to IV fluids and run them on a regular basis too. So we can always do that if we need to. So, but again, she's not used to being handled, so I'm doing low stress right now until we get a better gauge of everything. So a little update on Chatty. For speed and efficiency, I did refer Chatty into one of the local clinics here in town to get results same day. He does have elevated white blood cell count, does have evidence of a little stomatitis going on in his mouth, and he's always had that little bit of respiratory gurgle, which again wasn't my worry on sending him in, it was the fact that he wasn't eating. The good news is he has responded well to the medications we gave him, the pain meds, the antibiotic that way. So next course of action for Chatty is keeping track of that stomatitis, because Unfortunately for a lot of them, it's what we call a full mouth extraction, removing the teeth where the bacteria tend to hide that gets it started. So right now Chatty is back to eating, and as things progress, that is what I'm looking into, is taking that next step to take the best care of Chatty that we can now that he's officially adopted that way. So you will still see Chatty. Chatty will still stay here, and again, we'll keep up with his medical care, and I'll do what we need to keep him alive and happy.
My name is John Ramirez, and my occupation is Assistant Media Director. I've been working on Horse Plus for a year and a few months. It's been a lot of work, but it's been great so far. So my favorite thing about Horse Plus is just being able to use my abilities and be able to just make other people smile with the editing and stuff. I really enjoy just giving more to the people. So what I do on a day-by-day basis, as the work implies, I sometimes go outside and do video. I record anything that goes on in the facility. I manage the team depending on what needs to be done for the day. I also do the cutting, most of the finalized version of the video together with all the graphics and all those things. The intro, the outro, the graphics, all those were made by me. And it takes quite a lot of time depending on what kind of quality you want to do it. A lot of people think it's like this. Bing, bang, bada bing, boom, bam. But not really. But I couldn't have done it with my team. Without a team, it's very difficult to do it by yourself. Something that really brought me to Horse Plus was just being able to use my talents for something good, for the mission of the animals. Outside of work, I mostly do take care of my animals, our animals. We currently have 2 horses and we have a cat. So my favorite animals, if you didn't know, is it's pretty obvious here. Like I got a bunch of chickens, so I love how innocent they are and so playful, and they're just roaming around. They don't mind their own business, but little did people know is that they're actually very smart creatures. What I love about them is just they're fluffy. That's the truth. They're just fluffy animals.
Right now, her heart rate has went back up to 70, which is not good, not compatible with long-term life, because when horses' heart rates are that high, that's never a good prognosis. Again, the worst thing with her is her harsh lung sounds. So again, these immune systems on these rundown horses are very vulnerable. We got to remember, UT had to stop their study on how to refeed horses because they couldn't keep them alive, because they had the same issues that we run into occasionally. These horses are run down, the infections set in on them, just trying to get them fed back up. So I mean, it's disappointing when you run into this, and then again, I remembered I'm like, UT couldn't even do it with all of their manpower and all their feeding programs and all that. So but I am not going to make her suffer, because again, with her heart rate staying that high, I'm not getting her comfortable like I want her to be, so we're not going to make her suffer. Thought we had a decent chance with her, but again, now that we've had her down here and again we've kind of let her settle, it's not looking good. So you just eat what you want, darling.
We got Avalon last year. I want to say it was one of the July auctions we went to. I'm not 100%, I can't remember. But she is pretty fearful when it comes to people. She can't really see them coming. We think she might be able to see like maybe some shadows, so when she sees me coming out in the pasture, she'll go the opposite direction. Today, however, once we got her down here, we used her seeing eye horse Cash. And as soon as we got her in the catch pen, I just gave her a minute to settle, and I walked right up to her and started petting her shoulder, and she didn't flinch, she didn't try to run away, so she is getting a lot better at that aspect. She is trained to pick up her feet, so she knows some things. So we brought her in here today to put a saddle on her and kind of test out if she knows what that pressure is and if she's ever had the saddle on before. If she has, we'll do some fake-ons and even throw a leg up and see about riding her around a little bit. If she hasn't, however, we're gonna start working on getting her used to that so we can start riding her, because in the long run it will help make her more adoptable. Isn't that right? Yeah, that's what I say too. She's probably newly blind is my guess. So that's why she is very reactive when it comes to certain things. Let's see how she does with this. And after I get that up there, I want her to take a step, just see how she reacts to that being up there. Another thing I could do to kind of see where she would be at with having a saddle on her back is take this. I ask her to step over right there. And I'll just reach down here and grab this, and I'll kind of use this to imitate cinch pressure. Get her to take a step with that. She actually doesn't seem to mind that. And just put the saddle on her. You guys might want to go out there, because if she does decide that she's going to take off bucking, you do not want to be in the way. You always want to make sure when you're saddling up a horse for the first time, you get a couple wraps on the latigo. This is the latigo right here, before you just pull that tight. Because if you don't, and that horse decides to take off, the saddle will just fall right off and it'll end up scaring it more. So I'll get my last wrap in here real quick, and I'll pull it tight, take a step back, tighten it up the rest of the way. Now I do want her to move with that. She definitely needs some work on giving to this type of pressure before we try to ride her, because if she doesn't give to this and we hop up there and ride her and she just decides she's going to run off full speed, she's going to end up slamming into a panel. She's going to end up hurting herself or whoever's on top of her, so she needs a lot of work just on that right there. This is just flexion, getting her to turn her head off of light pressure. Just having the saddle on top of her while working on this type of thing, so that way when we get up there to try to ride her, we can actually turn her and control her without worrying about her running into stuff. I do think that she will have an issue with wanting to run off when she gets scared. So we're gonna just make sure those things are installed before we try to ride her. Introducing her to disengaging her hindquarters. I just want her to have this too. That way if she decides to take off, we can actually stop her as well. Good. So I'm going to keep working on her with that for, well, I'd say the next week or so. And then once she gets good about getting off of that pressure, off of light pressure, then I'll go ahead and throw my saddle up on her and hop on and see how she does.
Miss Kissimmee is going to her new home. We had an adopter apply to adopt her. They were approved. They have a plan in place for foaling, stabling, the whole 9 yards. So she is leaving to go to that location. And I know some people may have concerns, well, she's so heavy pregnant, is there a risk? At this point, I feel like it's safe to transport her to her new home. And what the transport plan is, she is going to go part of the way, take a rest break, go a little bit further. She's going to have a nice stall overnight at a boarding facility. They were very gracious, had an open stall for a heavy pregnant mare. And she'll spend the night there, have plenty of time off the trailer, and then she's going to make the final leg of her trip the next day. So I am going to go halfway where I will be available and close at the halfway point when she's there overnight. So if she has any issues on the first leg of the journey, we can watch those. So I know some of y'all are going to be disappointed because you want the baby cam, whole 9 yards. But again, our goal is to find these horses good homes. She had one that became available, got approved. And I'm not going to keep her here just for the baby. I'm going to let her go to her new home, and that way she can foal out in her new environment, not have to transport her with the foal after the fact. She has been kept isolated, and as you all know, we pulled her into the arena, so we've minimized exposure to the new horses coming in. She's been vaccinated. After that, it's just another short trip on up, and she will be ready for her adopter to meet her and love on her in person. So Miss Kiss Me has been a joy and a pain to be here at the same time. So we may say pain because she doesn't like her feet worked with the best, but other than that, she's not really that bad. You know, she's an older mare, a little cantankerous at times, but she's manageable. You can handle her. I suspect she's had babies before. She's been a brood mare, maybe. Don't know that for a fact. She's just now barely starting to get any shape to her teeth, so that way we're not that close. Again, I feel like, and when I palpated her last week where baby was at down low, that we still have a good margin to safely transport her without causing any issues with her or the baby.
And the new owner does have a trainer lined up for the foal and for Kissing Me as well, working on her issue with picking up her feet. And yeah, I'll be hitting the road here soon. It's a 13-hour drive, like Dr. Nate said. I'll be stopping out about halfway point just to give her a nice long break in the stall, and then we'll be hitting the road first thing Saturday morning. So I do have a 35-gallon water tank on board as well. I'm gonna make sure that it is completely filled up before I leave. And I'm also gonna make sure that she has a trough that is filled up before we take off. I believe at our halfway point that she will need more water, so I'm gonna use this transfer tank here to fill up her water trough. And then I'm gonna make sure I fill this up at the halfway point as well, so she has water for the rest of the trip.